Welcome to Albion TV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Friday, the 14th of January, 2022. I am your host, the Shozen One, and today I am joined by my most reluctant co-host, Bogul.
Most reluctant co-host?
Yeah, you want to be over in that roundtable call. I know it.
That is happening right this moment. We had to pull out. We had to leave. For those of you who don't know, the Roundtable is a place where some of the quote-unquote most successful guilds in terms of getting season points get invited to, special contributors who post a lot of good stuff on the forums, various other people's, and it's sort of a test bed sometimes for new ideas, general feedback. And there's a call going on right now with some of the developers to give feedback. Yeah, too bad we can't show that live, of course. But we do have a little treat for you guys today, which is we can talk about one of the proposed changes from that forum, at least.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on right now with the roundtable and the future of Albion in general. Right now, there's a roadmap in development. There is a lull in development. There's a moment where what is going to be the future is being determined now. I mean, I'm sure they have a very good idea of it, as I do expect a call on the roadmap in the next week or so, maybe next week or at least by the following, I would expect.
Do you mean Dev Talk?
Yeah, Dev Talk.
You said
what
call.
Did I say?
I was like, what?
Oh, yeah, I
words.
have something else on my mind. You know, those slips where you're thinking about something else.
I know it.
But you're talking about what you need to. But yeah, this is there's a lot going on right now, and one of the things is a focus topic on the roundtable that has been shared in multiple locations already. We've seen it on Discord. I don't think we've quite seen it on Reddit yet, but we do know that it has already made its way onto Twitch, as I believe it was on an earlier episode of Nozori's stream. They discussed
it. At least that's what I'm told. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
As I said in the beginning, we can do that anyways, right? We can show and discuss certain topics that are part of the public discourse.
Mm-hmm.
And as such that let's call it. It's a concept that is part of the Roads of Avalon. It's an
extension of the Roads of Avalon, you could say,
for very, very small scale sizes, which is I think it's called the work in progress name of that project that is in development. I'm going to do this a few more times, guys. Is the Mists of Avalon, right? I'm opening it in the background. We can show that later. But yeah, it's a solo sort of adventure path in the Roads of Avalon where you can find things.
Currently, there are portals for 20 players, 7 players, right? And then 2 players.
Yes.
Now, when you go through those, the portal cuts off behind you. After, well, it doesn't cut. It doesn't let anybody go through for a certain amount of time, right? Like, so if 2 people go through, there's a timer, and then it opens up again, and then 2 people can go through again. Same with 7, and same with 20. With the new one, it's a 1-player portal, and when you go through, you're transported into a random zone inside. The only other groups of 1 can get into. It doesn't matter if you're with a group or not. You go through, you're going to go into a random location. If your friends come through, they're going to go to a different one. And we're going to talk about that in a bit more detail in just a moment. But I do want to go through our basics of what we go through every episode. But we have a couple PSAs to go through. And
we also have Raffles, right?
And Raffles, yes.
PSAs, Raffles first. Exclamation mark Raffle in the Twitch chat. We shall draw a few lucky winners later during the show, probably between 3 and 5, right? We do that during the live show.
Yeah, I might be doing between 5 and 6 today. It's I have an extra code, and I feel bad that this might be a short or quick episode because we both have this intention of going to listen to more of the roundtable and hearing more about the future of Albion.
Well, on the one side, yeah, we want to do that. On the other side, I think the new tiny concept we can share is too great to pass up on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That like we weren't going to cancel today's show, and we had the opportunity to share this with you. But first, to the PSAs, guys. The Frost Challenge has returned for the month of January, and you should get your RAM, right? That's what you're going to get here. Your Frost RAM, the guy with the leap, that iframe to get you out of trouble, as well as many other great little cosmetic gifts that you can get for yourself in the month of January. And I know you are all aware of that. But are you aware of patch 3, Bogle?
I mean, probably if you blinked while you opened your client the other day, it quickly patched in the background and you didn't even notice.
No, it's just fixes. It's little fixes that are improving on the Lands Awakened, which from what I've heard recently on the roundtable, I can confirm best update ever.
It has nothing shows, it just has fixes. Well, a few.
No, that's not the patch. The Lands Awakened best update ever.
Oh,
this patch just makes that one better. Not the, that would have been pretty sarcastic of me right there. Hey, this thing that fixes 7 things that you didn't even know were wrong.
Yeah,
the best update ever.
I mean, I saw some messages below. It's like, okay, cool, nice patch. Where is the balance? Is that not the balance patch? Where is the balance patch?
No,
I want
balance
the balance
patch. Yeah, everybody wants the balance patch. Yeah. That's on NDA. That is currently still being tweaked and changed. So I don't want to give a date on this right now. I would have said end of January. We'll see this. That's when I expect it.
I mean, I think it says in the NDA post, hit the live server probably late January.
Yeah, that's probably. And I think right now there's so much influx with so much testing being done that it could be a little later. And I don't mind that right now because I want them to get the things they're fixing correct. Like this has some big changes to base elements of Albion gameplay, like the focus fire. It has the crowd control rework completely, diminishing returns. There's a lot there that is being kind of worked on in the ZVZ, and well, by virtue of changing the CC rate and putting diminishing returns on CC, it affects everything, and that needs to be done right. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that one have to be hot fixed 2 days later. Like they are testing it. They are getting feedback.
Have you heard anything from? Can you share anything from how the testing's going, or do you not know how that's?
Not personal information, and I wouldn't want to share secondhand information because I've gotten different responses.
I see. Okay, so I just noticed that I saw some of the schedule for tests, the play tests, right? So I the only thing I saw is that stuff's going on, but I'm not a ZVZ kind of guy, so I don't have any information on that though.
Well, I will say that they're testing on it, and there's mixed response. So some things are really good, some things need to be tweaked, and I think that they'll get it there in the end. As SBI tends to take let me take a step in this direction, let me take a step in this direction, let me take a step in this direction, and that's a big change from the way they used to do things. Bogle, remember beta? What they would do is they would do one thing and then do the absolute opposite extreme. And then they were like, okay, we got data on both ends. Let's see what we can do to this.
It's been 5 years since that time.
But, it
times changed, I guess. Some things change in Albion. Some things never change in Albion. Yeah.
Well, Grudge did.
Right. For those 5-year-old people who know,
5-year-old people, you 5-year-olds, let's go.
Long story short, there is the link to the thread in the chat. The recent in-testing changes are usually marked in bold. So if you haven't checked that thread out in a while, you can see what the result of some of these playtests are. Some of these are, straight up impacting how various weapons play. So at least scroll through it and, see if anything that you play is affected, especially if you do anything with CC or larger scale content. You might be affected come late January. I think that's one of the most looked forward patches, as these mid-season balance patches usually are, right?
Yeah,
Because they
people
mix
really
up so
want
much.
them. I would say here's the thing with the mid-season balance patches, it generally affects fewer people in a very acute way. Okay. But those people that it's going to affect are some of the squeakiest people in Albion. And so it often sounds like these are more anticipated than they actually are, where the big content updates that affect everyone are often, it's a little quieter on those changes. Do you know what I mean? When
Mm-hmm.
things are going well, people don't really make a lot of noise. But when
Yeah.
there's something that they want fixed, they're going to go, hey, 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 hey,
uh,
hey,
I, how can I mute you?
hey.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know. All right. All right. Let's we've talked about NDA for quite a while now. We've brought this up. I think everything was shown out for the last 5. Let's switch over to guild drama.
Yeah, we
Look
have
at
some
some
guild
fan art
drama.
and then
Yes.
look at the currently proposed solo Roads of Avalon content change that might come in the future.
We also have a spotlight for one of our content creators, Sharkeisha, who's been making a lot of great big clap videos, which I know you're a fan of, but he does it solo. And there's always a little twist in it. And he's made a number of videos recently, and he's given me a bunch of timestamps for some of the best parts in each of these videos. I thought we'd go through them because I love his content.
Okay.
But first, Albion Politics. Bogle, we did an interview just the other day with Magic Mark. Actually, let me rephrase that. Magic Mark did an interview with Magic Mark the other day, and we broadcast that for everybody here on Albion TV. And in that interview, he revealed not only was he the GM of a guild inside of Black Order, for which he was questioned quite a bit. People are like, how can you be the GM of a guild in Black Order when Black Order's GM is Shiro? Well, it ain't anymore. Magic Mark has taken over officially. He is now leading Black Order now that they have joined up inside of AAA. And even more shockingly, joined up with PoE.
That was swift, and I got that screenshot that you sent me here. Emiya Shiro left the guild, and Magic Mark. So Shiro is back on hiatus, or
Well, I find
do
this
we know
incredible.
more?
He quit the guild. I didn't expect that. Like,
I don't think so either.
I get the giving it to Mark because Mark is active right now. Mark is currently disabled and not able to work like he would like to because of the ramifications of COVID and the current experiences he's having. So he has a lot more time on his hands and wants to lead an Albion guild, and that is fine. But to see Emiya Shiro step outside of the guild confuses me because from my perspective, that's not something that he normally would do. See, Shiro is very protective of one thing. You know what that is, Bogle?
You tell me.
His unique guild icon.
Right.
Emma Yashiro is one of the very few players in this game who owns a unique guild icon, and his is even different than ours, Bogle, because his nobody else can use. Only he can use it. He won a unique prize in Alpha.
The Black Order guild. Yeah. Now that you say it, yeah.
Yeah, and like I was mentioning, us Vendetta has a custom guild logo, but everybody can use that. Everybody can use that awesome V, but nobody can use Black Orders.
I think nobody else can also use the Scoia'tael one.
And Scoia'tael as well, yes.
Yeah, so the Black Order
However,
one is
the
unique.
Say My Name, anybody could use.
Yeah.
The Money Guild one, anybody can use.
It's been a long time since like custom guild logos made it into the game. It might be
But
time
that,
to
but
revisit that, Chosen.
but Bogle, that's the one thing. Like this is where we're tying it to. Though there's only
Yeah.
one thing this man cares about:
Now he gave
his
it away.
icon. No, I don't know.
Right. Okay. I mean, let's get back to the video because I kind of think we need to link it. And then somebody also made this meme that Magic Mark, you said, interviewed himself. To a lot of the listeners, it kind of felt like stand-up comedy to a certain degree.
It was good. It was great. I mean,
Yes.
if you
entertainment.
have not seen it, if you have not seen it, it is peak Albion, and you have to watch it as a VOD. You should not watch it as a.
You have to see chat, basically.
Yeah, you have to see chat. You don't want to watch it on YouTube. You don't want to watch it as a highlight. You don't want to listen to it on SoundCloud. You want to watch it here on Twitch and watch the chat because that is peak Albion. After the interview, for the next 3 hours, these guys, Dominant and Magic Mark, yelled at each other in trash talk with the highest
3 hours.
the highest viewership that trash talk has ever had, meaning that the most people were in their chat room that they've ever had. And I've been there for one that had like 200 people in it as Lupac and Jerry started going at each other with seal noises.
Oh God. I mean, a recording probably exists of that shenanigans.
Yeah, there is. There's plenty.
I mean, if you like digging in trash, right, then that's, where you can go to if you're well isolated against various diseases that come with you. If you dig around in trash, if you cut yourself, and then be careful is what I'm saying.
I don't go there anymore. I just don't.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell you. I prefer to get my knowledge from the trash talk chamber secondhand. Because I just don't have that level of I'm just not going to go in there and open myself up to complications. I'm a public figure for a video game company, and we live in a world of cancel culture. So I'm just not going to a place where bad things happen. Because bad things happen there. Just not going there. You guys, you do whatever you want.
I don't go either, but
yeah. Again, the whole public figure thing. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so we do have other things, though, because I feel like we don't need to beat this Black Order AAA thing. We've talked about it in the past already, but there's new drama just from the other night. Apparently, Vibes was robbed, Bogle, and I'm very confused by some of the information that I'm getting. Why don't you show the screenshot that I sent, that Tazik sent us? I think this will explain everything.
Let me open the Vibes, the guild information first, and then you give 1 second of a background on the guild, because I don't know if everybody knows Vibes.
All right, hold on. Let me pull them up too so that I can...
Together in a guild with Midnight, GLAF Alliance. What do you remember?
Well, they've been active this season. That's the thing, is they've been active, and I knew their GM, and I had seen them do quite a bit recently. They were not inactive in any way, shape, or form. They are one of the top 50 guilds in season points, which means they probably have a very effective economy. They regularly participate in ZVZ activities with regears, so they would be, I would consider, one of the high-tier guilds in the game. Not like it, not S tier or nothing, but they're not elevate, but they're effective. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have over 200 members. They control territories. They're always competing. They show up in 20s. They show up in they do a bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they lose their GM.
Okay.
Happens. I've seen it happen before. It's gonna happen again.
Anything further on that?
Officers take over. Officers take over.
I see.
Then guild locks. Throw up the guild logs.
Wait, what?
Throw up the logs, Bogle, that Tazik sent you.
But
because it explains everything that happened in clear 4K detail.
I mean, who sent that to you? And is that the original resolution they sent it to you in?
Yes. This is what was given as an explanation and evidence that they were robbed. Yeah,
I don't see
zoom
much.
in, enhance,
Shozen.
enhance, enhance, enhance,
I don't see
enhance.
much.
Oh, come on now, Bogul.
That's what
I gave you a 4K image.
You didn't. Shozen, don't troll me.
Okay, that is what they sent out. Hold on, I got another image for you, Bogul. Don't you worry. Let's Bogul. How do I even describe?
So this is the evidence that was provided as of the robbery to the general public.
Yes.
Yikes. Okay, that's good evidence. Okay, if you want to tell a story,
scroll up in our communications there. Robin Hooders dropped another link, which is a translated public announcement from their new GM as to what happened to their guild. It's Vokandon has translated it for us all. Now Vokandon is doing a lot of work on this. You could even say he's investigating, because as you may have noticed, Bogul, some of us think some of this is sus, and we'll get to more of it in just a second.
I think this is the end. I tried in every way to keep vibes in it, and it had. But yesterday we were caught by surprise by Diana, the GM, being banned. We still decided to push for Crystal, focusing on mages, etc., and avoiding ZVZ. But late last night, something really took the officers down. We were robbed, and we literally have nothing.
Nothing. They have nothing.
I created dominatrix to keep a GLAF, and whoever wants to join, just message me on Discord tomorrow. We'll go to expand, and we will live there alongside Malta.
Do you know how much they were robbed of, Bogul?
No.
When they say they were robbed of everything, they mean it. If by everything they mean their dignity. By saying when they were robbed of 120 million silver, Bogul. And that caused them to disband the guild.
120 for a 200 person
million
Black Zone ZVZ
for
guild?
200 person ZVZ re-gearing Black Zone guild.
Sus. I think I would like to see more evidence.
I feel bad that I'm sharing this kind of like side-eyed glance at this guild that I don't quite know enough of because they don't speak my language. But
maybe the M is accidentally an M and like should be a B. Then it would be significant.
Maybe it's KM. Maybe it's I'm missing a K in there.
1.2 billion would be.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, and then I checked. And I checked, and he said no, 120 mil.
I think that's one ZVZ for other guilds.
Dude, that's the donations after a ZVZ when you win. That's not even what it costs when you lose. That's okay. This is what we were able to pick off the ground after the rats came through and picked off most of it. We still got about 120 mil. It's a pretty good haul for a single CTA. It's not going to fund us for a week or nothing. Certainly not as we push for Crystal.
Poor vibes. Bad things happen.
Pushing for Crystal and sunk by 120 mil.
I've seen wilder stories, Shozen. Sometimes the house is built on cards. Sometimes things fall together. If you push one straw the wrong way, everything crumbles down. And if 120 mil is your leveraged budget for conquering the world, then so be it. Like, just trust the people, man. Trust the evidence. We saw the evidence, right? So just trust what's going on. Easy.
We've found a solution. One of the new players in the channel, Wooksy System, says they can PM him. He'll work this week as a brand new player, probably without even his premium, and he'll make sure to get them that 120 million they need to succeed.
Shout out to Vibes. I hope you guys can rebuild.
Yeah. Well,
good luck in your efforts. Too bad shit happens.
They still have 200 people in their guild right now. So I feel like that this information that we got It's somebody inside their guild trying to create that drama.
It
Trying
seems
to
a little
find
bit
that
yeah.
excuse for this is why we are taking all the remaining resources of vibes and splitting it amongst us, really trusted officers as we create this new guild that you guys will all join, that we'll have control of, that only the officers who we want will make sure to have these resources, but we can't possibly continue as vibes. We lost too much money.
I mean, sometimes losing trust is worse than losing money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that because of the way that we've portrayed this today, I will get a lot of feedback from these guys, and they'll probably give me the real info here. I'm going to get the real side of the story, because remember, we're only sharing the side of the story that we have so far. And as soon as we get other information,
maybe
be it from the source itself,
yeah.
we can report that for them. We are not biased. We'll report both sides of the story. We're just asking questions.
I'm just asking questions and also insinuating some things, but I'm just asking questions. Shozen, I mean, I think we have to calm down a little bit on vibes here, right? There might be things, might be things we don't know. We don't want to, I think, legal disclaimer, right? This is for entertainment purposes
purposes only, yes. Do not take this as investment advice.
Or as serious journalism. What? It is neither?
Bogul,
yes.
No serious viewer would take what we are saying as fact. No rational person would believe that what we are saying is 100% true information. Yes.
Open the window, look outside, and then...
I can't. I got that sound board in the window. I can't see through there.
I'm just saying, what's going on in the world? Some people believe some crazy shit. Let's move on. Next topic. Unless you want to close vibes.
No, I think that this is a great segue into some dude just blowing people up. I'm going to give away a couple of raffles. I just pulled a raffle. I want the audience to go ahead and enter the raffle if they haven't already. We're going to watch a few clips of one of the Albion creators, Sharkeisha. He makes some fantastic solo vids out there where he blows up a lot of dudes at one time. He has a great YouTube channel that you should absolutely check out. I'll put a link to that in the chat window in just a moment, but we're gonna watch a few of his amazing videos. Nobody quite does it like he does. He blows dudes up.
By videos, you mean 10-second clips, right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do short clips here. We're just gonna show you like a single one where he blows people up. He's got a number where he does it with the energy shaper. That's his thing. He's done them with the brimstone, the weeping, and he's got a couple of montages with the blazing. But we're going to check out 3 clips from the Shaper, the Brimmy, and the Weeping. This might take, 3-4 minutes, but don't worry. There's gold on the line if you stick around.
Sharkeisha on Twitch. You guys probably know him, but... What about the sound? Can I play this?
I think you can. I think it's all...
Good luck to us.
Yeah.
Oh no. At this point I'm just dead. Oh, he's going cleric robe. I see. But he dies after. How can this be good?
Yeah, but like it's about the he's doing the royals, faction warfare.
Right,
so all those kills count for him.
I know that feeling. I think. How many tries do you think he needs for one of these clips?
More than one. I'm not going to reveal his insider secrets, but it's not exactly
Look at the funnel he built.
But he does it. He does a great job with this. Look at what he funneled out and how silly these guys are for following a guy with an energy shaper in a straight line. Like, I'm still running through the energy shaper to get to him.
It's just one dude. What can happen?
Every one of those dudes he hits makes him hit you that much harder.
Energy. No, what's it called?
Escalation.
Escalation, right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
AoE escalation.
I guess if you get a whole Zerg to follow you. And then he's not demounting, because if he were to dismount himself, then he would have this cooldown, right, on his spells.
Right. he would have no skills. But if they dismount him,
Everybody's
he-
chasing. Look at this. What
oh
the
my!
hell?
Look how many people he's got chasing him through that tiny little choke.
Uh,
Oh, actually, he did. Nope.
oh my
Got
god.
it. He's got it. He knows exactly where he needs to go. He knows exactly what he needs to do. He's been picking this location all along.
Oh my god. I'm calling blind luck here. But
Blind luck. He planned this all along.
look at the kill
He
log.
scouts locations. Look at the kill log.
Some people live for that big club, don't they, Shozen?
I do.
You do?
No, I don't ever get a big clump. I just die in the big clump. But if I had more Bogul, I feel like this is the kind of thing you could invest in. Like,
what, burning
getting-
money for like
yeah, burning money for great big clumps. Look how many people he ticks off. You're Bogul. Sharkeisha gets all these guys to follow him because he's Sharkeisha, and they know this is what he's gonna do to him. Like them. If you're Bogul and they know you're just full of big money bags, they're gonna follow you, and they're not gonna use their cleric's robe.
I'm just playing video after video. I want to see what happens next, Sheldon. I think I have a theory what could happen next.
You have a theory?
Yeah, look at him going. He has friends too. Oh no, that pull together.
Going in, guys. Oh,
How
did
much
any of them get to even play? Did any of them even get to play? I don't even think he even has to die here. He just goes in. Bye, guys. That's ridiculous, dude.
I am a fan of his videos, sir. I saw some of these already.
Yeah, like I know that like we have talked about this. You haven't always been the biggest fan of Big Claps videos, except for like, you know, especially in like the ZVZs. But we have talked about Sharkeisha. I know you're a fan. This guy is fun. He is an absolute treasure to have in Albion. All right, there is a link to his YouTube. Go click on that, hit the sub so that we can get him his name, you know, so instead of it's YouTube at random googly gook, it's youtube.com/Sharkeisha.
There you go. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Or
Yeah.
do you want to watch one more?
We can do one more.
One more.
One more. And I'll pull another raffle too.
Oh, this is with the low health. Oh, wow. See how fast he got in there? Charging up. Boop. I wonder how many people on Albion see these videos and they go, I'm gonna get this too. I'm gonna make my own video.
And then they run in and die.
Bloop. Hey, I'm dead. Why?
Free loot.
Let's try this again. Let's sprint in, get really low
Do
health.
you know, I'm
Bloop,
pretty
dead.
sure he makes these so that other people do that and he can just loot them.
No.
Yes. He's training you to run in and die so he can loot you.
Shout out to Sharkeisha. Good
All right,
stuff, man.
Bogul one more, and I'm gonna pull one more raffle.
Weeping or montage?
Ooh, montage. Hit the montage up, and I'll pull two.
I think we have shown this one before in the show. I like this one. The art, the videography of this.
Mhm.
With the different
The editing
screens
is really
going
good. Yeah.
down. Loop. It's so fast, and there's so many tries, there's so many hours of trying to get this one shot, right? This is like trying to be a YouTuber Albionized. because you only show the one successful recording of your thing.
Well, I mean, he's probably still pretty successful.
Yeah, I mean, he's produced a bunch of recordings.
He was
so
somebody who was able to compete with you in the cities for plots. So, like, that's where we first recognized his name, Bogul, was as a plot owner. So he has come a long way from just somebody who had a lot of silver to somebody who makes entertainment with his silver. I'm just giving you a hint there, but maybe. Oh,
Let's talk about the highlight from today, Shozen.
okay. Let's go to it. Let's talk about. But first, do we want to hit fan art before we move on?
We just have 3 things, right?
Yeah, we have just 3 pieces of fan art today.
All right, then let's do that real quick, and then we do the solo concept, Mists of Avalon, revealed on the roundtable for public discourse, leaked today. First one, fan art. Is that Martlock? I think so.
Yes, it is.
Nice. Hand drawing. You can see the pen. You can see the size. Who did this? Uta-chan, I think. Yeah.
Hmm?
Cool. Next one is Mishireen from Nishkia for the best.
This is
title A3 clapper.
Yes, this is another bust by Mishireen.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Different from the last one.
Yeah.
I don't feel we need to put up any advisories.
No.
No,
Also, the best 8.3 inter.
Oh,
I don't know what that is, but
oh, that means that they wear 8.3 while they do something dumb and get themselves or other people killed.
I know that, but why is it spelled like that? Anyways, I'm curious.
Because I could explain to you another time. All right, let's just move on.
That's colors. What is this? I think that look at the mount.
That's me. All the stars. I can tell because it's very vibrant. That's a really good cat, though. Look at. I didn't even notice. Is that a photo of a cat?
Maybe.
Like
looks like
almost
more,
like
more
I don't.
attention.
I have to make this whole thing full screen. Hold on. Full screen. No. Okay. No, that's a drawing. All right. That's just. He just does very good. They do a very good job with cats. And from when it was small, it looked like a real cat. Ooh, that's very neat.
Look, shows, and this is to me it looks like photoshopped. See the around his paws?
Yeah.
There's this little cutout.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Didn't see it. Move back.
No?
Back out. Back it out. Back up.
look at the saber-tooth Rex though. Here in
That's really. I like that. That's good.
That's nice. That's nice. Well done, guys. Well done. I like this kind of. This is so colorful. I like the style.
Meet All the Stars actually asked for images of the two of us so that they could do something with them.
I'm not yet ready to share that, show.
Not your face, Bogul. Your
avatar.
Your in-game avatar. Yeah. Like we're all keeping this in game here, dude.
All right.
In game. I put on something fancy, some clothes. I got dressed up for him. Gave him both my avatar and my avatar.
Look at what's going on here in Carleon. Everybody doing like a flag, sort of circle around us. That's nice. Shout out to the guys here in Carleon at the bank. Killage, Top Icy Mage, Titan, TMBB, Hunger 159, Evelyn Millie, Mr. Mimi. How do I say that? And a bunch of others. Shout out to you guys.
We have a question in chat. Kimple asks, are we going to see some content or just blah, blah, blah? Well, today is the daily show. We do the daily shows on Tuesdays and Friday. A lot of that is blah, blah, blah. But we do talk about things that are relevant to the players of Albion. Now, if you're wanting to see ZVZs or 5v5s or 20v20s as content, we do that on other shows. At 18 UTC, you will see our ZVZ coverage, the War Report. On Tuesdays at 20 UTC, we have the 5v5 content. And on Saturday at 20 and 20:30 and 21, we have 5v5 content.
Yep.
and 20s at, what is it, 19?
Let's talk about the thing we've been
Yeah.
teasing for 15 times now, Shozen.
Are you talking about the road, the road thing?
Concept, Mists of Avalon.
The what is this?
A concept posted for initially on the roundtable that got that is a focus topic, which means that it's supposed to be shared with some of your guild members that can give good feedback on it, and we can do that as well here in the show. This was posted by Retroman on the roundtable. It's not public, so you can't look at it yourself, but it is a work in progress concept.
A good description, yes.
Mists of Avalon. I'm excited to introduce another potential new feature, and I'm looking forward to your feedback. I'll keep emphasizing the Shozen, right? Because people always go, I want this tomorrow, immediately. But it goes through a certain process, and we have to respect that. One of the main criticisms of Albion up to this day is that it's very difficult to play as a solo player and small groups in the open world. With a concept that will provide a much better experience for solo players for PvE and PvP is the Mists of Avalon. These are randomized open world clusters that are entered by special portals, which makes it impossible to join a cluster as a group. These mists are similar to the Roads of Avalon, but with less predictable clusters and more dynamic event, ever-changing content, and a bit more open spaces. Our vision for these is that they are constantly changing, unpredictable, and you would be encouraged to be constantly on the move, with lots of things to explore and the chance for many PvP encounters that is similar to the open world, but without the possibility to amass large groups or set up static gank squads in specific locations. Mists of Avalon is primarily intended as a solo activity, but we are also considering adding an additional duo version so that this content can be played with a friend.
That sounds really cool. That sounds cool. Okay. I mean, I would like to see it start as solo and then maybe move on because I want to see this refined. Let's move on to some of the things that they're talking about. Though I got to say, doing what they're talking about next would be a lot of fun as a duo. So I'm not going to complain. All positive so far.
How the mists would work. The mists could be entered from the open world and from within the roads through specific mist entrance portals. What's special about the mist connection portals is that when you enter one, you will be brought to a relatively random mist cluster. Now, here the key point is of the system. This random cluster that you enter when going through a mist portal is different for each individual player. Even if a party enters through the same portal, they all end up in different clusters, making it impossible to enter as a group. Also, there is no limit on how many players can eventually enter a portal because it's not needed. Mist connection portals are strictly one way. So you enter a zone through them, then you cannot return where you came from. You'll have to find a new exit. Each cluster, however, will have quite a few of them, though. First impression, Shozen?
Again, this I like the first impressions. I think that this could be very interesting for solo players. Solo players have been asking for content that is specific to them, that has a lower risk situation. Like they don't like getting run over by very large groups. Nobody does. And I'm going to be honest, and this is just true. Most people play MMOs play solo until they find friends. And if you don't provide enough solo content for people to move from the solo content of the game into the point where they have friends and can engage in group content, and it draws them into that daily responsibility loop, you got to have some really good solo content to keep them entertained and keep them in a gameplay loop that can extend their life in the game until they meet those people.
There's more to this.
There are some people who do not need friends at all. I will say Aquart is here. Hello, Aquart. How you doing? No friends for Aquart. I believe he is a master of solo content already. So this will just be a situation where you go into these areas and Aquart kills you.
Great. What I always dreamed of. Nice. Let's read on a little bit more. You
Absolutely.
can, with a long cast time, A out of the mists. This would take you to the last mist entrance that you used. For example, back to the roads, to the normal open world. We would also make sure that players cannot abuse this to try and cycle through various mist clusters. For example, A out and enter again, by adding a long cooldown on the A out of the mists. Each mist cluster would provide a range of mobs, resources, solo chests, and other solo-friendly objectives that also work in the open world. We would allow all mob factions and resource types to add to the sense of discovery inside the mists. Using mounts is possible, and generally the experience would be to emulate the open world, but only on a small scale.
Hold on 1 second. See, this is where I have my one concern. Because when we look at the mechanics of what this is you go in as a one person, then you A out as one person, right? Now, and I'm not saying this is going to be a problem. I'm not saying this is really going to like exist en masse, but I worry about one person coming out of a place where other people can be around it and know that the most people who can come out of that zone is one. And then if that one person goes back in, their ability to get back out again is hampered by a timer. Because you would A out and then your A out timer would be longer. So I worry that this is I don't want to see that where you only have one way out. And like you can't get back out through that way because there's only one way out and there's dudes there and your options are to go back in. And that's my one concern. Like that I've seen while reading it so far. And I will be bringing that up and trying to find a way to make that a random thing for you to come out, because it does sound like you come out of the same one you went in.
I mean, if you just go continuously, right, you don't A out, then you come out somewhere else. So in that sense, you could.
So you're saying that like there's portals in there that you can go through in deeper that will port you out into another spot somewhere in the random roads.
You're right.
Okay. All right. Well, then that does give you a situation, but then you could also, like I said, be in that rock or a hard place. Inside that zone is the Great Equart. Outside that zone is the irritating arch, and you have a choice to make. Do you risk going back in and riding past a quart? Or do you go back out and risk that there aren't 45 arch in a zone that has no larger than a 7-man portal?
We'll see. There's more to this proposal, Shozen.
I know. I that was my my thing.
The rewards on average will be lower than Black Zone rewards, but due to random nature of these clusters, we can have some value spikes to provide a more enjoyable experience. Here's where my blue chests or green chests goes up, but you know. Inside the mist cluster, you will find other mist portals that go further into the mists, or sometimes exit that go into the roads directly or into the open world. The actual cluster that you get sent to when you go through a mist connection portal is randomized, but not totally random. Instead, we'll monitor how active in terms of players already there and how depleted in terms of mobs killed, chests looted, and resources gathered each cluster in the pool is. The more active and the more depleted a cluster is, the less likely that it has additional players and that more will get sent there. This distribution would also help us to send players from the same alliance to different clusters, for example. Interesting. No matter what, each cluster will close and a new one will open after a certain amount of time to discourage players from camping within one. In case they might form a group, we can make sure that it doesn't last long. I mean, I like that. It's like, let's design a feature that is supposed to drive people through a maze into each other to fight to the death.
Right.
Hey, you're
I'm
you're
totally
a random person.
this.
You're a random person. Let's group up. I mean,
well, I mean that could.
I wouldn't expect it from Albion players, to be honest. But it's just one of these things where you do this whole thing, and then one person can just go invite to party.
What if they don't allow it in there?
Then you just do a nap, and then you wait until the
Yeah.
other guy, does
Yeah.
PvE, gets low, and then you snipe him.
Yeah, you see, I always get you're on to something here. It's like, how do you prevent that kind of organic gameplay without masking identities? And if you're masking identities, doesn't that remove some of the joys of what is Albion, where you
Yeah.
have this single server where everybody is, you know, aware of who each other are? I mean, I have proposed ways to do it in the past, but that wasn't an entire game system that was based around the idea of not knowing who your opponent was to stop a like a really irritating thing that could happen to people. But it could happen. But then that's why you can always run away. Like if you see too many
Word?
people in an area, you don't want to be there, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like you have the option to get away, and you're not gonna. I wouldn't suggest going into these things wearing full gathering gear and then trying to fight people.
People can make choices, Shozen.
They
They don't have
it's
to be
all
smart
about, it's a
choices, but
sandbox choice. Sandbox. Okay, let's move on.
The last part of this is that the system will have dynamic clusters. It gives options for a variety. For example, you can make various clusters more interesting. We can put randomization into them. Could have special clusters that are very rare and only appear occasionally, like Avalonian ruins. The system will monitor globally how many players are on them, so they can add and remove them dynamically, which is nice. So it fits the number of players. The mists can be used to enter and exit the outlands, but it's way more chaotic because you can't really sort of trace back. You can also not pre-plot your path, which you can do if you have, scouting information from a guild, for example. And then he says this unpredictability should offset the potential increased safety in the mists. We are, so I mean, because you could, go through 5 quote unquote safe zones, and you're like,
safe
all right,
zones, and
let's
then
go
end
home.
up where you want to do, and then take your you could use this as a way to skip through the roads where people are, get to the roads you want, and then get into the outlands where you want to be, or take it to the royals where you want to be. We're going completely safe.
No, you can't.
If you could map
the
it,
opposite.
but you can't. Yeah, no. What I'm saying is you can't do it because you can't map it, and it's completely random.
Right.
This is to prevent what I was talking about from happening. Absolutely, yes.
Okay. And you could always end up like at the exit you actually go through. You're like, oh shit, this is an active red zone. I'm in trouble, and then you're deep in the outlands, for example. Because you can farm these resources, but you need to be able to bring them home. That's the other difficulty. We are aware that escaping through a portal is much more powerful in the mists than in the classical roads, as you can't really be followed. We'll offset this by the fact that in the mists you'll get fair fights far more often, and we also might prevent players from entering with specific mounts like battle mounts.
Yeah, I would like to see no rat mounts.
What's a rat mount?
You and your lizard.
No, I don't think that's. I think battle mounts is the cutoff.
Yeah,
otherwise you have to
lizards.
walk. No.
Lizards.
Then you just use the Thetford one or other ones. That's the same. That's the same thing. We also would add an additional non-full load version for the blue and yellow zones.
Ooh.
They'd be a nice training ground for
somebody
new
was
players.
asking about that. Like in chat, they were like, is there any way for this to not be so painful to encourage PvP? Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir, we can. But it would probably have some really low. Bogle, think of how low the returns would have to be in order to make that fair.
They'd be a nice training ground for players and would be a nice addition to faction warfare. Now, this makes my eyebrows go up because roads and faction warfare? I mean, I guess since it's a training ground, I think that refers to that, right? Because it says they'd be a nice training ground for new players. But
soft PvP,
yeah, but I guess in addition to faction warfare in the yellow zones as a training ground, right? I think that's how it's meant. because
Yeah.
I don't think you can flag up and go into the mists.
I think this is the kind of thing, honestly, Bogle.
Yeah.
This could be a good step to, and I'm gonna. This is controversial. I'm gonna say words that might get me in trouble. Removing arena, having this, and then instead of having arena, have another soft way into the Crystal League. So you have this soft thing for solo people who want to get involved in things quickly, cheaply, without a lot of cost, right? And then you have the crystal as the next step up where you get people in quickly with a cost and something on the line. Yeah, I agree. Arena should be replaced with crystal level 0 or level 1 and have 1 through. There's a lot of changes to crystal I'd like to see. I can't go through them right now. I'm in the
We're
middle
almost
of
out of
something.
time.
And we're out of time. We're out of time, folks. So, okay, can't talk about this subject anymore. It was great talking to you. Thank you very much. I got to go. No?
The last thing
Okay, we got
on
a
this
few more.
proposal is the theory that this could be, or this could have a group version with 2-person size content. Group mists, quote unquote. Connection portals would allow up to X players to always go to the same cluster if they are in the same party. Now, note that if we do group mists, the group mists would be entirely separate from the solo mists and no cross connections. Kind of makes sense.
That would be completely separate, and that is something that you have to be. And NS Gaming, I would love to either. I want to see an alternative to the current arena state. I don't like it. I love arenas. I don't like the rewards, and I don't like the cap of rewards at 3. I get those very quick. I want to be able to keep doing them, or something like it, and I would do this over arenas.
All right, I'll sign off, guys. Shozen will talk to you guys for the next half hour about Arena. You can take a screenshot from the rest of this post and then read it on your own time.
All right, okay, Bogul.
And then we'll see you guys tomorrow for the war report at 18 UTC.
Put it back up. Let's do the conclusion.
Roads of Avalon improvements. That is the roads, the big ones. For groups in the range of around 5 players, we would improve the activities in the roads. We want to apply many learnings from the open world rework and apply to the roads with mobs that can charge up, dynamically spawn treasure chests, and instead of fixed timers. We think the roads network is extremely useful for transportation and outlands access, but can be improved to provide better gameplay for small groups inside. Our current impression is that for groups of this size, a persistent open world experience is more desirable, like the current roads rework, but we are interested in hearing your feedback on this. Conclusion: in a nutshell, the goal of the Mists is to provide dynamic open world content that is not susceptible to Zergs. We want to make it fun by giving it a bit of a roguelike feel with then discovering a range of clusters with unpredictable content and variety. Yeah. In terms of reward balance, the Mists would be a balancing according to the risk level. They'd sit somewhat below Outland Open World, especially if the zones are charged up.
Evolved.
If we decide to start working on the Mists, at the same time we'd look at the classical roads and we'd improve the overall experience. We are looking forward to your feedback and questions.
Don't scroll down.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a proposal. That's a work in progress potential proposal for upcoming content update. Mists of Avalon seems nice.
Yeah, I there's nothing in there that I don't like. Like, I like the concept. I like how it would work. I like the rewards. Of course, it would scale between, like where it's the low level stuff, where they're talking about doing it for the non-lethal. Sure, that would not be in the same scale as red zones. But the rest of it, I really just like. The only thing I have a concern with is getting out of the same location, like being stuck in a spot. And that is my one thing of concern there is what happens when you're stuck. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to fix that. But I think that it's worth it. Even if that can't be fixed, the rest of it is worth it. Like, it's worth knowing that this is going to happen occasionally if this exists in its current state and you can't figure that out, because I don't think it's going to happen every time, and it will be a rarity. And then it also encourages you to own a zone, you know, own a zone in the mist, or in the roads with your roads guild, and have control of that. Because if you have control of the area, there's no way 10 guys are going to set up on the outside of your solo port, right?
So you could go in, do a bunch of them, and then A out and come back to your home zone?
Or at least one zone from your home zone, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it'll be in home plot zones, but like you can get one zone away, and then that's there for the next several hours, and you can use that as a transport spot. And if you can get your guys to move into that area and use that area as a staging ground and control that each day with your roads guild, then I could see this really working, especially if there's also a roads rework that comes alongside this, improving the life of people in the zone. This could be a very interesting thing. I do wonder a little bit about spread, like player spread, and when you have too many different options for same type of players. Like, if this is aimed at solo players, what happens? And it's just below Black Zone, right? What happens to the Black Zone player base that's currently there, that's thriving because there's a bunch of players who are willing to take a larger risk, even if it's as a solo player, to get the rewards that are there, because the difference between the rewards that are there now and the next step down are huge. Does that thin this out, or is this a completely separate type of population that, instead of coming from the black zones and already living there, this would be like those solo players who come from the cities and would be doing normally corrupted dungeons, and this works as a really good stepping stone to teach them about more open world content from the more classical corrupted dungeon 1v1 content that they were getting before. And those are the questions that I have, and I don't think that that the answers are bad. I think that however this works would be decent. I don't think it would be a horribly bad thing in any direction.
I think we have enough quote unquote population to fill both. And then even if it's competing a little bit, I think that the corrupted dungeon gets at least gets you potentially fights faster than this might. And corrupteds also don't have gathering, for example. So it's a little different in that sense. So it's a little bit closer to quote unquote open world. But I wouldn't see an issue. I'm looking forward to this, and as somebody who does do a lot of solo things, I would absolutely love to do some more exploring, especially if it really feels like a roguelike sort of experience. Then I can get a new sort of thing every time, and I
I can definitely see myself playing this type of content. I do like exploring the black zones, but my one irritation in the black zones is the likelihood that I run into a gank squad when I'm interested in solo content. Because I have 20 minutes, right? And I'm gonna go do something by myself. I don't have time to make a group. I can either do an arena, or I can take a quick trip to the Outlands and do a quick gathering trip.
Shozen, we might have to make an Avalon Roads Guild, just the two of us.
Vendetta's coming back, boys.
Yeah, deep hidden in the roads of Avalon.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching the show. We are going to head out of here now. We want to get to the end of the roundtable call, hear about what's going on with the end of this. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm going to pull one more raffle right now. Where is it? But what happened to my raffle?
Look under the table.
Found it.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, 18 UTC. We'll have the ZVZ show. We'll have the regular high stakes 20 versus 20 and 5 versus 5 Crystal League content, 19, 20, 21 all evening. We'll probably talk about this more as it matures and it comes up again. It will probably, if this goes through the initial feedback loop and is, if you guys like it, then we'll probably get a public sort of feedback round on it. And I think that will happen sooner than later, especially given the fact how popular this already is and how positive the things I've heard are.
I've heard good positive things already. I gotta say, Bogul, SBI is doing a great job right now. Like, just the last few things they've kind of done. Like the Lands Awakened. This looks really positive. There are a couple other things we can't talk about that sound positive. I'm very excited for what's going on here, and I think 2022 is going to be fucking awesome.
What a statement. All right, let's head out of here, Shozen. Call it a night. Thanks for watching, guys. Stick around. We'll raid somebody. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, 18 UTC. War Report. Look at some of the Outlands action. Shozen.
All right. See you guys later. Good night.